Hey guys, and welcome back. I've got a 3x3 here for you today. It is 0.45 close, 0.4 opening, and it's only 160 blocks. It's just a really good door. And today I'll just be doing a quick tutorial, and much like with the 4x4, I'll probably do an explanation at some point. So these are the materials you'll need. Probably, roughly. And we will start with the piston layout. Now, it does have a long side and a shorter side, so decide with that. But yes, so this is your door frame. It's centered. See, you've got more blocks on one side than the other. That's just because you need a double on this side. That's just how the piston layout works. And that. So that should be your piston layout. So we'll jump straight in with the input, which is actually just on a lever here, and that's how we power this piston. Silence this note block. This one, we just chuck a piston there so it's silent. So that's the input. Now, the top on this door is very dense, so it's not really possible to separate out certain sections of it. So we'll sort of just build it all, and you'll see how it works. So we need another note block there, and redstone here. So if you see, that gets us 1, 2, 3 block event delay. So this piston, when it's here, this will retract. 3 block event delay, this will retract. So we'll get our first little micro tick action going on. And then we need 6 block event delay to this redstone for powering this piston. And we get this through a slider. So, if we come here, a target block here, because when this redstone block gets here, oops, it will redirect the redstone, and we don't want that. This was my fault. Just put that back. But yeah, so you need a target block there. And then you might be thinking, well, this powers itself. This is permanently powered. How do we update this to retract or extend? And we actually just get it through here. So this will retract at 3 block event delay. This is 4. This is 5. This is 6. This will extend at 6. So this should retract at the right time. So if we just get some obsidian here and here. We'll do this quick, just so this piston will actually extend. Just need that. You'll get that. Ignore this, put it there, and then when you retract, there you go. So that also gets its retraction from there, which is nice. And these 3 blocks are now here, which is perfect. So now we need the control for this top piston. We've got it for that side piston. It's very simple. The top's not as simple, but found a clever solution. So the timings of this just so happen to be absolutely spot on, but you need just this small slider on top of the other one. Now you might be thinking, when this pushes across, this now can't push across because it's blocked, therefore this will never get updated to push across, so the door will lock. That's correct. So we just need this observer and that block. That will push this before this gets here. So now if we see, there's the closing, there's the opening. Now we just need the last 0 tick. And you might be looking at this top and thinking, how on earth do we fit that in? And if I just show you to start with, you just need those 2 pistons there, and then like magic, we have our pulses. And you actually need a piston here, and the note block here, so this isn't slow. If we now look, you might be wondering how that happens. This observer actually refires this slider in the opening. So if you look closely at that redstone block, say, it moves back and forth. We get a last 0 tick, and I built this deliberately so the 0 ticks are sort of tied together, which is perfect. So now all we need is the singles, and before I forget, we have obsidian here so it doesn't push across, and of course we can't have obsidian in the door frame. This piston will be 1 tick later, so if you just put obsidian there and this piston here, this will be permanently powered on the closing, so that will work. So now here we get our pulse down using an observer into a block. Now there is a difficulty here. If you take a quick look, it fires once on the closing, and it fires twice on the opening. Now we only want 1 pulse on either edge, so that's kind of annoying, but we can work around it by just building a toggle into it. If we just grab a slab and a note block and some dust. So what this will do is this will give a pulse, and then it will spit out this block. Now of course we need to retract this block again to reset the toggle, but we deliberately retract it on the opening just late enough that it dodges the pulse from this, and we actually just get it from here. So this observer will then refire, and the block will get grabbed back. Now this will also take care of these side pistons at the right time. Now we also need to of course get our pulse all the way under, which we just use a redstone line under here. And do that. Now much like with this piston here, this piston, well we had obsidian here earlier, we need this to be permanently powered. And we actually just use this slightly odd, potentially looking setup, but it's quite good. If you just 1 tick this piston at the same time as this one, this redstone block will arrive here fast enough and retract at the right time that this is kept all in sync. And we get the pulse to here through, remove that, just there, just to silence it. The reason I remove that is because placing this slab under here updates it. Oh, there we go. That should now be your completed door. Now, one thing to note is you can just run a repeater into it. The door doesn't mind. Timing's actually very slightly different on this piston by like 1 game tick. That doesn't really matter, but it does mean that you don't actually need the powdered snow in there, which means you don't actually need the dispenser. So you can get rid of the clicking sound if you don't have a lever input. If you don't have a lever input, I would suggest having a redstone block on a piston that you actually 0 tick in. It can be a little bit of a pain to set that up, but it's now instant, so it's just even faster on its input, which is just nice. But yeah, so that is a completed 0.4 3x3. I don't believe it is locational or directional. It's just a very nice door that I've now broken, but that's irrelevant. Yours won't. Oh, it's because I forgot to put the that back. But there we are. Oh, and then I broke it myself. Don't right click that, make sure you use the lever. And there we go. There's the door, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.